Do you know what? Sometimes I do think it's just me that has these thoughts about the BBC and what they should be doing. But then I see a headline like this, and I think, I'm not alone in the world, you know. Oh, Gary Shipton from National World put this out. Look at the headline. The BBC needs to make more Happy Valleys, but its anti-competitive obsessions are stopping it from doing so. Yeah, he's spot on. He's spot on, isn't he? Happy Valleys was a huge, huge show. One of the biggest ones the BBC have had for a long time. Normally, these big shows come from a streaming service or from ITV. Very rarely from the BBC anymore, but they knocked it out of the park for that. Credit where credit's due, right? It was a big show for the BBC. But the reason they're not making so many big shows is, like he says there, anti-competitive obsessions. They don't want to compete in the marketplace. They just want to take in their free money and sit on their arse doing nothing for it. Whereas the other channels and the streaming services have to make better stuff. They have to keep finding the next big thing because they need to bring in subscribers or advertising revenue. Don't they? So just quick before we carry on with this one, I just wanted to let you know there's not going to be any more BBC or TV license videos on this channel, the ChilliJonCarne YouTube channel. I'm still going to make them. Don't worry, still going to make just as many, but they're going to be over on the TV license stop channel, so it ties in with the website and everything. So if you want to carry on watching these, please make sure you subscribe. The links are below. I'll put a link on the screen, whatever. Go find it. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm going to overlap for a couple of weeks, and then there's going to be no more on the ChilliJonCarne channel. All right. I'm still going to make videos of silly stuff on here, just nothing about the TV license or the BBC. Right, let's carry on. The BBC desperately needs more triumphs like Happy Valley, but there is little chance of that while it is obsessed by purging itself of popular older radio presenters, spreading itself too thinly and waging an anti-competitive battle with quality local newspapers and their websites. Well, he's gone off on a bit of a tangent there, hasn't he? I mean, I don't think the Happy Valleys thing is being affected by the BBC's local services. The local services changed. It's terribly expensive. Think of the broadcast licenses. Think of the buildings. Think of all the staff they have to have for all these offices around the UK. This is why they're having to skim it down. No other media organisation could do it. If they were commercial, there's no way they'd be able to have the local radio that they have. And if they're going to move to being commercial, it's going to have to go at some point. It has to. It has to. But then that's good news for the local papers and their websites because there's more people coming from them. Local papers and the websites can start doing their own local news, can't they? These are tough times for the BBC. According to TV Licensing's annual report last year, 1.96 million households said they did not watch the BBC or other live television in 21-22. And the corporation believes even more will desert them this year. In a survey by National World a couple of years ago, 95% of respondents said the licence fee should not remain compulsory. It's not compulsory. It's not compulsory. You should be telling people that you can watch probably 90% of the stuff you'd watch anyway without paying the licence fee. The only things you can't do is watch or record anything that's been broadcast or access BBC iPlayer. You can still watch all the ITV stuff, all the Channel 4 stuff, all the Channel 5 stuff, all the streaming stuff you like, as long as it's not as it's being broadcast. But anyway, enough of that. 1.96 million households said they did not watch the BBC or other live television in 21-22. 1.96 million households. That's a lot of households, right? And they reckon even more are going to desert them this year. Good. That means we're winning. But it's not just like people like me and the other YouTubers and the websites and yourself out there who talk about a licence fee with people. That is making a huge difference, obviously, especially the stuff you lot do out there, sharing the videos and talking about it with people. But it's the cost of living. Wait a minute. It's the cost of living that's making the biggest dent. People are finally looking at all these things that go out of their bank account every month. And they're seeing 13 quid a month leave for the television licence fee. Thinking, do I actually need to pay that? Because as I said loads of times, right, 13 quid a month to many of you out there, it's nothing. It's not even a packet of cigarettes. It's not even lunch. And I'm happy for you if that is the case. Good. I'm happy for you. But you have to accept that to many people out there, 13 quid a month makes a big difference at the minute, a big difference. And people are looking to cut back. And it's not compulsory. There's no compulsory rule to have a television license. You can own a TV and it's not compulsory you pay the license fee. It's based on what you do with your television or viewing equipment, not whether you have it. The BBC should be investing its £3.8 billion a year licence fee bonanza in more Happy Valleys, more Line of Duty, more The Traitors, more Strictly, more quality wildlife programmes and more serious cultural content, a role that has been usurped by the free-to-air Sky Arts channel. By strengthening its core offering this way, it can take global streaming giants head on. But that paragraph there proves why the television license fee doesn't work as a way of funding a media organisation. You're not incentivized to make these things because it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you show 24-hour-a-day repeats on every service that you have, you will still get your 3.7, I think it's 3.7, it says 3.8 billion quid a year in license fee revenue. It doesn't matter what you do. But if ITV just show nonsense all day, stuff people don't want, the advertisers will pull out and they'll go bankrupt. They won't make any money. They're incentivized to keep finding the next big thing, to keep making stuff people want to see. Because the more viewers tune in, the more advertising revenue they make. And the BBC doesn't have this problem. Look at Netflix, for instance. If it was full of tat, no one would subscribe and they'd go under. So they are incentivized to find the next big thing, to find things people want to watch and sell it to them on a monthly basis. The BBC don't have any of these problems. It's not a problem for them. That's why you very rarely hear a big show coming out of the BBC anymore, because they don't have to try. It's quite a long article, this one. It's pretty well written. I'll put a link in the description. I always put a link in the description to these ones. Go and have a look and read through it yourself. It's not badly written, actually. It's a fair article. And, you know, have a read. Let me know what you think about it. And also, while you're clicking about down there, don't forget to hit the link to the TV Licence Stop YouTube channel and subscribe over there if you want to keep seeing videos about the BBC and the telly licence fee from me. Because in a couple of weeks' time, it's all going to stop on this channel and there's not going to be any more BBC or TV licence fee. I'm still going to make the same amount, as I said, but you've got to go over to TV Licence Stop and sub there. So yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe buttons on both channels and I'll see you in another video again soon, won't I? Ta-da.